You exhaust yourself in the marketplace and you master every strategy of trade, but your hands remain empty while the heedless build empires. Something invisible is strangling your efforts, a specific law of Qadr that Ibn Arabi uncovered in the markets of Andalusia. There are three invisible barriers standing between you and the abundance written for you. The third one is the most dangerous because it looks exactly like hard work. Most of us believe provision or rizq is a prize we must hunt down through sheer force of will. But Ibn Arabi teaches that rizq is not prey. It is a servant seeking its master. It is alive. It is looking for you. Therefore, when you chase it with panic in your heart, you are not catching it. You are terrifying it. You are running toward what is running toward you, creating a collision that shatters the vessel meant to hold it. It is high noon in the souks of Seville. The air smells thick with tanned leather and burning charcoal. Ibn Arabi is weaving through the crowd when the sound of shouting stops him. A weaver is standing over his loom, hands trembling, cursing a broken thread. His face is purple with rage, sweat dripping onto the unfinished silk. He has been working since Fajr, his fingers bleeding, yet his stall is empty. Ibn Arabi watches the man's panic. He sees the invisible energy radiating off him, a desperate, scorching heat that pushes customers away before they even approach. He turns to his companion and, look at him. He thinks the thread feeds him. He has made the needle his god, so the needle pierces him. This man is trapped behind the first veil, the idol of causes. You believe your fatigue validates your earnings. You think the more you suffer, the more you deserve. But this is a deception. When you worship the hard work, the work becomes your master, and it is a cruel master that pays in copper, not gold. Ibn Arabi teaches that reliance on the asbab, the means, without witnessing the musabbib, the causer of causes, acts as a spiritual dam. You are rowing upstream against a current that wants to carry you, exhausted and confused why you haven't moved. But knowing this is not enough to remove the veil. You must understand how the provision finds you. Later that evening, the shadows lengthen across the stones of the great mosque. The call to prayer drifts over the city, cooling the heat of the day. Ibn Arabi spots a cat sitting perfectly still by a butcher's heavy wooden door. It does not meow. It does not pace. It simply sits, eyes fixed, with absolute certainty. The butcher steps out, steps over a barking, frantic dog that is jumping and snapping at his apron, and places a prime cut of meat directly before the silent cat. Ibn Arabi smiles. He sees the physics of the unseen world playing out in the alleyway. The dog demanded. The cat expected. He notes in his heart. Stillness acts as a magnet. Desperation acts as a shield. This stillness is not laziness. It is the removal of the second barrier, the noise of the heart. When your internal world is screaming with the fear of poverty, you deafen yourself to the knock of opportunity. The dog went hungry because its chaotic movement made it impossible to be fed. Ibn Arabi warns that when you operate from a place of scarcity, you project a reality where scarcity is the only possible outcome. You are literally manifesting the poverty you fear by clinging to it so tightly. Yet, There is a barrier deeper than panic, and this is the one that keeps the righteous poor. It is the shape of your vessel. Ibn Arabi speaks of the heart as a container. If the container is filled with the self, with your plans, your anxiety, your pride in your skills, there is no space for the divine delivery. You are asking for the ocean while holding a cup already filled with sand. This is the third veil, the arrogance of agency. As long as you say, "I earned this," you disconnect yourself from the treasury of the king. You cap the flow at the limit of your own two hands. True wealth requires a form of spiritual suicide. You must kill the part of you that thinks it is the provider. The moment you surrender the outcome, the tension leaves the rope. The weaver in Seville remained poor not because he didn't work, but because he thought he was doing the weaving. Ibn Arabi revealed these shadows not to tell you to stop working, but to tell you to stop worshipping the work. Your hands must move, but your heart must sit still. The frantic movement of the limbs is allowed, but the frantic movement of the soul is forbidden. Tonight, you must look at your fatigue and ask if it is the tiredness of a servant doing his duty or the exhaustion of a usurper trying to be a god. You are not blocked from your rizq. Your rizq is blocked from you by the version of yourself you refuse to leave behind.